In a small town just off the interstate, the big picture isn't always clear. Sure, on the outside, you don't really need a sign to explain where you are, but if you keep looking, you may find that this is exactly where you're supposed to be.
My wife had saw this place that they're going to auction off, and she came out here and the weeds were everywhere. There's somebody telling us that we have to do this, and there's a greater calling to us, so we packed up and came to South Dakota.
Terry Pack didn't grapple with the decision. 10 years ago, he decided to turn a pasture of green into the Legends of Gold, a nonprofit national training center for youth wrestlers.
It's our wrestling field of dreams because you don't see it, you don't think about it, and then all of a sudden through the middle of a cornfield, there's this.
This building got put in about a year ago. We have another wrestling room, weight room, we have soccer fields, and it's just kind of surprising because it is in Beersford, and Beersford is so small, so people don't expect it to be here.
To be frank, there were no expectations when Terry and his wife Lisa founded Legends of Gold. It was simply a matter of providing something Terry had been wrestling with since childhood.
We didn't have the funds to do things. I mean, I wanted to go to wrestling camps, I wanted to go to wrestling tournaments, and I didn't have the ability to do it.
After a stint in the Marines, Terry traveled across the nation as a wrestling coach and found not only a financial gap, but a development gap. Junior high school age kids weren't getting what he believed was the proper training for high school and beyond. So Legends of Gold not only provides traditional opportunities during the summer, it now offers residency to kids across the country.
By doing it this way and being a nonprofit, and we were able to give back to kids and give people opportunities. We have a lot of kids that can't afford to do those things, and we're able to help provide them that here, and that's what I always wanted to do. I wanted other people to feel the love for wrestling that I do.
Residents move in on campus and either go to school locally in Beersford or participate in distance learning at their home schools. The year-round instruction has been endorsed by USA Wrestling since 2017, opening doors and taking down barriers.
And now we're going 4 years into it, and training kids with international styles and giving them exposure across the United States. And on top of that, we travel overseas once or twice a year, and kids are making world teams and, doing things they never thought they could do before.
I just want to be able to compete to the best of my ability as often as I can, as long as I can.
The kids who train at Legends of Gold are well aware of the commitment they're making, and they also know the process can be just as rewarding as the end result.
This facility has the best competition, and that is what I need to get to that next level, and they have the college coaches that will help me get there.
I gain the ability to be coached on technique, have a lot better conditioning, and just being around wrestling and training all the time.
I like getting competitive against people, and I love the opportunity here because Coach Pack makes me just learn a lot of stuff, and I learn a lot of stuff here. So
the approach is not without its drawbacks and criticism. Because the training center is considered an inherent advantage, Legends of Gold residents can't participate in local high school wrestling tournaments. And some coaches worry kids will suffer from burnout with such a persistent schedule. But Terry believes his heart, much like this facility, is in the right place.
Providing opportunities for your child is never a bad thing. If kids are having fun, and they love what they do, and coaches love what they do, and parents love what they do, it's always going to work.
The signs are clear now for Terry and his wrestling family. With more than a decade under his belt, the weight of his job isn't as daunting, and the opportunity remains golden.
My wife and I leave campus maybe 6 days a year. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're working 18-hour days, you're taking care of 20 people that aren't your kids. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for a second. We're doing things that people didn't think could happen in South Dakota. So for me, I'm living the dream.
Joined again by David Brown. All right, Brownie, this is a unique place
in
a lot of ways, but they operate under nonprofit status. How do they do that?
Well, the land where Legends of Gold is located was originally owned by Lutheran Social Services, and they agreed to help finance things for the first couple of years just so Legends of Gold could get under its feet. Now, obviously, they've done that, and like most nonprofits now, they rely on two things, donations and partnerships. And so they have a corporate relationship with Sanford Health. The residents at Legends of Gold go to Sioux Falls to use some of the Sanford Power facilities, Sanford Athletic facilities, and because they are a nonprofit status, they can now offer scholarships. So it took them a little bit, but that is how they operate as a nonprofit.
All right. And COVID-19 has wrecked everybody's plans in 2020. How has Legends of Gold dealt with this?
About as well as they possibly can. Obviously, wrestling isn't exactly a social distancing sport, but they asked all residents before they arrived to Beers for the quarantine for 2 weeks. Whenever any kid goes for a practice or a workout, they have to bring a mandatory change of clothes. They shower immediately afterwards. So they are doing the best they can considering the circumstances and still giving them a pretty unique situation.
Yeah, all right, making it work. All right, thanks a lot, David Brown.